Hello.
Hello. Nice to see everybody under these circumstances. And my name is Danny Kessler, and I'm a holistic health coach and a professor of wellness tourism at Yangsan University. And in today's presentation, I'm going to be talking to you about proactive wellness techniques to prevent sickness and promote health when traveling. I know we all want to travel, and as soon as it's possible, we are going to be going on international flights. And what I want to do today is teach you ways that when you do finally travel, you can travel and feel safe and not get sick and land and be healthy and live your life and enjoy every moment of your life. And this is what I'm going to teach you today. But before I begin, I want to give a special thank you to Laura, who is the linchpin of this wellness community in Busan. Let's, I don't know, we have not many people live here, but let's give her a round of applause for a second. So I want to say I really like the logo of this event. The colors, the green is representing the beautiful mountains in Busan, and then the blues are representing the healing oceans. So I really like the logo, and okay, let's begin. So the Global Wellness Institute, they define wellness tourism as travel associated with the pursuit of maintaining or enhancing one's personal well-being. With so much unwellness embedded in today's travel, wellness tourism brings the promise of combating those negative qualities and turning travel into an opportunity to maintain and improve holistic health. So let me ask you guys a question. Who here, when you get a chance, as soon as the flights are available and you can travel, who is going to travel? Who is going to travel? I think everybody, people watching on YouTube, everyone cannot wait to travel. But who is worried when you're traveling? Maybe you're going to be sitting next to somebody who has a cough. Or maybe you're worried that perhaps you're going to be traveling, you're going to be in a tube for 13 or 14 hours, breathing the same air. You're going to be getting tired from all the jet lag, and then you're more vulnerable for getting sick. Well, what I'm going to do is teach you ways that the chances of this happening is going to be reduced, greatly reduced. So some of the problems, as you can see from these images, is the stress of traveling. Back pain, neck pain, jet lag, social distances, COVID-19, you name it. It's a stressful thing to do when we're traveling. I just found this and I screenshot it for the presentation, and it says that the mammalian brain starts eating itself when it doesn't get enough sleep. So I imagine if you're on a long flight and you can't fall asleep, it's going to be a problem, and your brain is going to start eating itself, perhaps. But what I want to teach you in this seminar is I'm going to teach you a few things. First, I'm going to teach you some breathing techniques, and then I'm going to teach you some self-care foam rolling techniques, and then I'm going to give you 10 tips so that you can reduce the chances that you're going to get sick and you're going to feel great when you land in the new destination. So the first thing before we begin is I want to talk to you about the difference between the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, because all of my techniques today are related to getting you from sympathetic to parasympathetic. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with these academic terms, I want to say, think of the parasympathetic is when you feel relaxed. Maybe you're on the beach. You just woke up on a Sunday and you have nothing to do but sleep in. So you're lying in bed, you're relaxed, you don't have to worry about many things. And then we think of sympathetic in this example as when you're late, when you're stressed out, maybe when you have to go to the bathroom and somebody else is using the bathroom and you are about to explode. So sympathetic is a place where we have to go, and sometimes it's useful. But the problem is when we're always in this sympathetic place, it's unhealthy for us. So when we are thinking about our health and our wellness, we want to find a way to relax and get into a relaxed parasympathetic state and avoid the fight-flight, especially when it's unnecessary. But the problem is modern day, modern travel, modern situations in our lives, our work schedules, they put us in a low-grade sympathetic state, a fight-flight state throughout the day. But the problem with that is it's unhealthy, but also for those of us who are high performers, for those of us who want to achieve a 9 or a 10 in performance, if we are in a 6 all the time, we cannot do that. We have to learn how to relax and go to a 1 or a 2 in order to hit a 9 or a 10. So it's very important that we learn how to get ourselves into a parasympathetic, relaxing state, especially when we're at the airport or on a long flight. So this, in my presentation, I have a lot of images, and I want you to feel free to pause the video, take a picture. Instead of giving you the resources at the end, I've chosen to embed the resources in this presentation. So this is a very good book. It just came out, and it's related to what I'm going to teach you about, which is breathing. So what I'm going to teach you in the next several minutes is breath work. And many people, they're asking me, what is the difference between breath work and meditation? Because they're similar and they're overlap, they're related, and to me, breath work is my form of meditation. But I think the quote by Dr. Andrew Huberman, he says, it's hard to control your mind with your mind, but you can control your mind with behavior. So breath work is a specific action, a specific behavior that helps for you to control your mind. And maybe you know this quote if you're a yogi, the breath is the king of the mind. Think about that. So what I want to demonstrate to you, and I'm going to pull out my phone here, there's an app, and this is through iPhone. This is through iPhone, and it's called I Breathe. Now, most likely, there are other apps, maybe with Android, that are similar, or maybe they even have an I Breathe app that you can use for Android or something similar. But this app, it allows for you to pick your inhale, your exhale, and your breath holds. So what I want to do is I want to demonstrate to you, and we're going to do some breathing patterns. The app is free. And the first breathing pattern that we're going to use with the app is by Dr. Andrew Weil. It's the 4-7-8 breathing pattern. In this breathing pattern, you're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 7, and exhale for a count of 8. This is a very famous breathing pattern that was made popular by integrative medicine specialist Dr. Andrew Weil. And using the app, which I'm going to use and I'm going to do right here, I'm going to, instead of my so-so voice, I'm going to allow the app with a much more beautiful voice to do the breathing pattern. So we're all going to do the breathing pattern. We're going to do it for 3 minutes. And I want you to first think about how you feel right now. And then we're going to do this breathing pattern, this 4-7-8 breathing pattern. And then notice how you feel after the breathing pattern. Second.
Exhale.
There we go. So please continue this breathing pattern. It's going to be
Inhale.
another 2 minutes.
Inhale. Hold. Exhale. 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 Inhale.
Okay, we'll stop here. So, how do we feel? Did it change your state? Did it change your feeling? I find that these breath patterns, they're very powerful, and there are hundreds of them. This is just a popular one that was popularized, but there are other ones. There is one if you want to sleep, and there is, the app makes the breath holding customizable. So when you find a breath pattern that is fits you well, maybe you wanna fall asleep, so you can choose one or search one on the internet, and that breath pattern will be very helpful. And you put on your headphones, maybe you're traveling on a long bus ride or on or you're on the airplane, and you can close your eyes and relax. Another one I want to mention, and this one is more for performance related. Maybe you have to deal with stress. I remember I used this breath pattern when I traveled halfway across the city to Busan Station to the immigration office, and I realized that I forgot my passport, and I was very stressed out. I remember I was really stressed out, but then what I decided to do was I did something called the box breathing, where you inhale, you hold, you exhale, you hold at the same number of seconds, as we can see in this slide. So we could do a 5-second inhale, 5-second hold, and then the 5-second exhale, or 6 or 4, whatever you're comfortable with. You can decide what is the breath pattern that fits you, but oftentimes maybe you're stressed out about something, you're about to do a speech, a performance. This is a very powerful breath holding technique that actually Navy SEALs are using for their training to prepare for dealing with some serious conflict. So it's very powerful. There's so many breath patterns. There's great breath patterns if maybe you want to study. There's a really wonderful one I was doing the other night when I was studying, and I wanted to upgrade my brain, and there's a breath pattern for that. So you can download this app, and this app is a wonderful way for you to choose the place that you want to be and use your breath to do that. And Brian McKenzie, who is a really wonderful, has a very wonderful breath program, he says, breathing is the remote control to your brain. And here's another resource, a very good book by Dr. Patrick McEwen. And Wim Hof, for those of you who want to get advanced breathing methods, Wim Hof is wonderful. Okay, next, I want to talk about self-care. And specifically, I want to talk about how sitting is the new smoking. But what I want to show you here is how you can avoid this new smoking problem. You are going to have to sit on a long 12-hour, 13-hour flight for a long time, and that's not good for your health. So what I want to do is demonstrate a technique that I learned in a wellness conference that is so useful, that has been a game changer for my sitting health. Okay, so I want everyone to imagine that I'm on the airplane right now. And I just so happen to get one of these foam rollers. And what I'm gonna do when I'm on the airplane is I'm gonna place this foam roller under my hamstring, so you can see. And I'm gonna watch my video, the movie, listen to a podcast, do some breathing exercises. And this will hydrate those muscles that are just being dormant, that are not getting the blood flow. This will bring the blood flow to that part of the body. And when I do this, maybe 10 minutes, I'm putting it in this position like a massage. I might change it and move it up a little bit more forward. I might move it back. And even as I'm doing this and demonstrating to you, this is relaxing me. Because it's like a massage. It's a self-care massage. And you can use the airplane buckle to tighten it, to make it tighter, or loosen it up. You can sit on it and put it on your glutes instead of on your hamstring. You can change the leg and get up, and you realize, wow, I don't feel so tired. And I've done this, I would say, about 8 international flights. And when I land, I feel good. I don't feel tired from the jet lag. I feel great. I feel like I didn't have a long flight. So I recommend for you to consider one of these. Now, the one I choose, this is a hard one, but there are many choices of these foam rollers that you can use to make your traveling more relaxing and more healthy. So this book is a book all about what I'm just describing. And this is her company, and this is from her book. There are many sizes, and some of the foam rollers are hard and some of them are soft, depending upon your choice of what your body needs. Now, for me, I like a strong Thai massage, so I like a hard foam roller, but maybe your first time using it, you're gonna get a softer ball. Okay, last thing that I wanna say, and then we'll do some Q&A. 10 tips. 10 tips to travel well. First of all, you want to arrive at the airport early. Because if you're coming late and then you're stressed out, you're starting this cascade of stress hormones. That sympathetic state is going to start before you even sit on the airplane seat. So get to the airport early and relax. Drink a lot of water. When you're on the airplane, you're like in the sky, you're like inside a microwave. So you want to detox your body. You want to make sure you drink a lot of fluids when you are flying. Next one. And this one is related to Jennifer's talk just before, as she mentioned the intermittent fasting. If you can, and I mean, I can easily do this, but I've been doing various diets since I was on the wrestling team when I was 15, so it's easy for me, but don't eat the airplane food. Your body is so tired from the radiation, from the high altitude. Give it a rest. Eat before you get on that airplane. The airplane food isn't even really food, in my opinion. It's like just chemicals. It's a chemical combination. Reward yourself when you land. Don't eat that airplane food. Entertain yourself. There's so much wonderful media. Make sure you have a smile on your face when you're sitting in that chair for 13 hours. Download a podcast or two. That's half your journey. Write in a journal. A lot of times when we're traveling, we get to travel once a year, and it's kind of like that time of the year that you can think about what you did, and you can write about your thoughts and your feelings about what's happening in your life and what you want to happen. Do some journaling. It's very holistically healthy. Block the light. I'm sure we all know you want to get a good sleep, you got to turn off the lights. But maybe you want to sleep, but the airplane light is on. Get one of these in the store. It's only a few dollars to buy. And there's an app that I want to mention called F.Lux. It's a free app. You can install it on your computer, and it dims the light as the sun is setting. So it gives your eyes a little more rest. Next is take vitamin C and D, and maybe consider taking melatonin. Although I've heard of people that don't have a good reaction to melatonin. Look into it, try it, but definitely load up on your vitamins when you're in the sky because you're not getting sunlight and it's stressful on your body. And be strategic with caffeine. Caffeine stays in your system for 6 hours. So if you have a cup of coffee, 6 hours later, for most people, you're still going to feel that energy from the caffeine. Now, if you want to sleep on the flight, don't have the caffeine. But when you land and you want to be active, then you have the caffeine. Have the coffee, have the tea. And of course, the self-care massage. Get one of these or something similar. Oftentimes I use a lacrosse ball, and I find that it is making my sleeping a lot easier on the airplane. Breathe well, as we mentioned and demonstrated. Find a nice breathing pattern that fits you. And lastly, when you land, get some sunshine and movement. If it's during the day, go for a long walk, preferably barefoot. Get some sunshine, and if it's at night, then go right into a dark, cool room and sleep it off. So, what questions? I know we have about 10 minutes or so for questions. Sure, so what questions do we have? Thank you.
Can everyone please put a big round of applause to Dr. Danny Kessler. Thank you so much. Okay, so you'll probably see me checking my phone throughout the seminar. It's not because I'm, talking to my friends. I'm checking all the updates for our live streaming, and we have quite a few questions actually from online, and also if we have anyone here who would like to ask a question, all you need to do, raise your hand and we'll bring the microphone over to you. The first question, Dr. Kessler, is from Pearl Park, who is joining us on YouTube. Hello everyone out there, thank you for joining us today. So Pearl Park said, did he mention whether the inhalations and exhalations were through the nose or the mouth? So could you tell us a bit of information on that and how it's perhaps different?
Sure, so when you're breathing, it's best to do it through the nose. The mouth is for eating and talking, but the nose is for breathing. And there is some misconception because of the Wim Hof method. They say to breathe through the mouth, but I think the nose is best, especially if you're on the flight. The nose hairs and the nose hair follicles clean the air, and if the temperature in the air is really cold, it warms it up. And if the temperature in the air is really hot, it cools it down. And also nose breathing, you get this nitrous oxide, which helps to the gas exchange that happens in your body when you're breathing. So definitely use your nose, breathe with your nose as much as possible.
Thank you, Professor, for your question. And thank you to Pearl Park, who's joining us for that wonderful question. Really important. Does anyone else here on site have a question they would like to ask to Professor Kessler? Sure. Can we have a microphone over to Dr. Cho?
Dr. Kessler, thank you so much for your informative presentation. I really enjoyed your insight into how sitting was the new smoking. For someone who tries to share meditation, one of the main forms is sitting, and I can rally your thoughts that many people are in pain when they sit. Do you have any recommendations, or are there any adaptations from sitting on the chair to sitting on the floor? Would you also have perhaps some massage ball techniques that can be used to facilitate the sitting meditation? Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question. A lot of Westerners especially, we have trouble when we are sitting on the floor. So, but you know, most of the time when we're traveling, we're sitting in a seat, or we're working at a desk, it's the same thing. But when we want to meditate, it's still a little painful, even for me. Even though I do yoga, I still have a lot of pain when I'm sitting on the floor. So one thing you can do is put something under your butt, raising the seek bone, I think it's called the seek bone, and that will help to, I guess, get rid of the pain associated with sitting that way. And I think it's just a matter of doing it a lot and getting used to it, and after a while it starts to actually feel more natural for you to sit that way. But I think that these things are very useful for people, maybe when they are sitting. Have some of your students use these balls to alleviate some of their pain. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor Kessler. I think we're going to end the Q&A portion of this presentation. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us online and in person here. Please do give it up one more time for Dr. Danny Kessler. Thank you, Professor.